Myself, my wife, and friends from college, including best friend and his wife, have been doing a college football pick'em league for the last 12 years. It's for fun, but I'd say most everyone takes it somewhat seriously. Since we have had the league, different people won, but for 6 years in a row, one particular guy kept winning. Each year, we have a big tailgate party at a game where the winner of the previous year is honored with a speech and trophy. Last year, we even arranged for a surprise cameo to be played at the tailgate for the guy who won his 6th in a row. I broke his streak last year and won the league, but I was also the person who typically got the trophy and arranged the cameo or some of the other cool things we've done. So yesterday was our big tailgate, and it was my chance at being recognized as the person who won the previous year. A few hours in, my wife had a few drinks in and said, "I don't even know what we're doing this year for a person who won 6 years in a row." Then I said that actually I had won, and her whole face changed. Our friend standing next to her turned white as a ghost. First they laughed, then said, "No, wait, it was you?" I realized that until that moment, it hadn't occurred to them or anyone to do anything. There was no trophy speech, anything. My best friend quickly gets told by my wife that they forgot to do something and says nothing. Can't make eye contact. Gets worse for me. After it sets in, I'm in the bathroom an hour later. I walk out and some people start clapping because my wife had awkwardly arranged for the crowd at the party to do something. It's worse because the guy who won 6 years in a row and had been a recipient of some cool stuff is laughing hysterically that everyone forgot to do anything. I'm just sad. I don't really want to talk to my wife. She gave me a very short apology this morning and offered sex to cheer me up. Made it worse. Drove 6 hours home crying here and there, wondering how a group of people I love and care about would drop the ball. Sent a text out to some saying how shitty it was to be forgotten. Sucks. I'm sure tomorrow I'll be less sad. Relevant comments. Moonglade Ladybug. You're the planner. You're the one that keeps people together and makes sure no one or thing is forgotten. So when you don't do all the work, no one else does. It's really crappy they forgot to celebrate your win. You deserved a hurrah and they let you down. Really sorry, OP. They did drop the ball and then handled it really inappropriately. Sincere apologies were needed ASAP, and then making it up to you, I'd truly join another league just to take your mind off it and detach a little from that scene. Even if they don't do celebrations, you're the planner of the group. That still isn't cool. I hate football, but this got me worked up deleted. Everyone likes to accept rewards and praise, but not everyone likes to return the favor. OP went out of their way to make sure whoever won had a good time and felt special for 6 years. And got nothing in return when it was his time to shine. And to top it off, his wife is trying to downplay it and act like he's overreacting. Feels bad. Least they could do is apologize, especially the MF who laughed after OP is the one who made his win special in the first place. Ha Warball. Next time your wife is upset, offer her sex to cheer her up. Kazugad Ford 420, this isn't stupid at all. You're validated in feeling how you do, and it's shitty as F that your friends and wife didn't recognize how important this was to you. I totally get it. It isn't about fantasy football. It's the pretense of the entire situation. Honestly, if it were me, I would tell my friends via phone call or face-to-face, not text, and tell them how it made you feel unappreciated as a member of the friend group, as well as it hurting how they reacted after realizing you were the winner. Not because it was over a game of fantasy football, but because this is clearly something you all put effort and emphasis into for multiple years, and there's no excuse for just brushing you off. I would also tell your wife how it made you feel with offering sex. Sex isn't something to be rewarded or withheld, and that set off some alarm bells for me personally. You deserve to be surrounded by people who appreciate you the same way you do for them. This isn't something to accept. It's important that you say something. I know it's uncomfy, but it's worth it. Sending you love, OP. OOP. Thank you much, really. I teared up that anyone felt sympathetic. I'm in my house and feel like I'm on an island by myself. Updated same post next day, Oct 31st, 2022. Update. It's tomorrow, after a night where I slept in the guest bedroom. Late last night, I got an email apology from the girl who turned white when she found out. My wife woke up at 6 to get ready for work, and I was up helping kids get ready for school. She wanted to talk and asked if I could talk also. I was half awake and didn't have any thoughts put together. The first thing she says is that I need to keep perspective. She said that it's not as if she cheated on me. She forgot something big, but there are much worse things that could have happened. I didn't respond. She asked how long she was going to be punished for this, and I just responded with saying it wasn't all about her. She is visibly frustrated, and I'm too afraid to say something that will ignite her. I feel like she's desperate for me to say anything. I realize she's not comforting me or trying to understand she wants full resolution before we have to take kids trick-or-treating tonight. That's it for now. She texted good morning and I haven't responded. Relevant comments. Sirocco dream when the planner doesn't plan, crap doesn't get done. I am sorry that your lame-ass friends didn't treat you well by remembering to celebrate your win. I'm even more sorry that none of them had the guts to come clean and apologize in front of the group for being such a shitty friend. And finally, to the guy that laughed and who no one shut down when he was, please accept my two-finger salute over the internet. Now that I've established that I'm firmly on your side, I ask you, what do you want to have happen now? Think long and hard about what it is that you want. Yes, this whole fantasy football thing is shitty, but what sort of friends are these guys outside of this situation? Would you call them if you needed help moving, and would they come? If you suffered a real tragedy, would any of them be another shoulder to cry on? If you have kids or were to have kids in the future, would you invite these people to be a part of your child's life? If these people are merely the college fantasy football bros, then maybe you need to consider letting them all go. You've devoted considerable time and effort and maybe money into making these events fun for them, but when the time came for them to return the favor, they didn't care enough to get the job done. I don't blame them for not being more sincere in their apologies on the day this all went down. By your account, they were all caught flat-footed, and it's hard for most of us to admit our mistakes and apologize properly when we're still processing what an asshole we've been. Have any of them reached out since? Only you can decide how much these people mean to you and whether you want them in your life going forward. If I were you, I would write a huge screed about everything I'd done for the group over the past years, trying to make this event a yearly spectacular. I wouldn't cuss or throw around insults, but I would make it very clear to everyone that this event is so much fun every year because of my hard work. Then I'd end it with how disappointed I was that none of them saw fit to return the favor when I was the winner. I would absolutely point out that the previous winner laughed and was a complete jerk, and that it was shitty of them not to shut that noise down, but I'm petty like that. Maybe you're not that petty. I'd fire this off into the group chat or whatever you guys use to communicate and see what happens. Maybe you'll get a ton of heartfelt apologies and they'll plan an extravaganza in your honor and all will be well. Or maybe you'll get back a bunch of hate and you'll see their true colors. Either way, you'll have your answer as to what sort of friends they really are. Once you've sorted the friend situation, you'll need to sort things with your wife. I have a lot of questions for her, and I imagine you do too. Why didn't she organize something to celebrate your win, for starters? The wife might be something that requires marriage counseling, but only you two can determine that. OP, I don't know. I don't want anything. As of this morning, I'm just wanting to not have this tension with my wife. But I'm kind of stuck on feeling let down, and she's supposed to be the person that doesn't do that. In Vorks, is your wife always as shitty as she seems here? OP, no. She's great and a wonderful partner, but one major part of her personality is that she hates any feeling of having done something wrong. It's like she becomes a different person. Plantain flakes. So, bad sex and a weak apology is how she makes up for it. Judge 3, duck 3D, and then getting upset at OP for feeling hurt and making it about herself. OOP. has posted a new update in the thread update Aug 19th, 2024. The first thing I'd say is that Reddit is a pretty amazing place. My inbox was flooded with people offering congratulations and apologies for what happened, and feeling support when you're in a place like that is an awesome thing. To everyone who wrote thank you. Here's what happened. My relationship had a rough 2 weeks. It took time for her to see that this was more than just a scratch emotionally. I was disconnected from our everyday life, and it's hard to explain to someone, wife, who is so sensitive to partial blame accountability that you need them to make a sudden change and handle your issue. That sounds weird to write out, but in my case, marriage, it's true. It's like asking someone to perform disaster relief who hates getting their hands the slightest bit dirty. About a month after the day, I had a trip planned with a bunch of them who had been at the tailgate. I could have brought it up then, could have told them how let down I was and how Reddit was on my side. And in the moment, I just decided, don't ruin the trip. If you tell them how destroyed you felt, they're going to feel bad, and you're on a trip together. If you are reading this and judge me, please know I completely understand. I could have yelled and screamed or explained how it made me feel. But I thought about how I've known all of them for 20 years, and this one thing was just a bad mark against a lot of good memories. It's sad, but I didn't want to ruin the trip we were on. Fast forward to the next year. I didn't continue the league. I got a few texts about it. Are we doing the Pick'em League? And I didn't respond. My wife knew why it was gone. I was happy with not doing it and not needing a weekly reminder. We had the 2023 tailgate almost 1 year to the date. Someone had won the 2022 season, and of course, I planned nothing. Yes, it was the same guy who had won the 6 years in a row. About 3 hours into the tailgate, someone made an announcement. They needed everyone to watch the TV because there was a surprise. My friends had arranged a Cameo. They got one of my favorite players of all time to congratulate me on winning the league. It was a year late, and it was still great. I watched it, teared up a tiny bit, and my friend leaned over, smiling and sarcastic, and said, "Can we please start the league up again?" I thought of Reddit, the emotions, my wife, etc. I had a few congrats, hugs, and it was over. My dad passed away about 6 months after the initial Reddit post. When he was in the hospital, and I was visiting every day for a few weeks, I started to think about things that matter. The bullshit at my work faded away. My wife, who isn't perfect but is definitely my person, came way more into focus. My relationships with my friends did too. This isn't meant to be life advice, but I feel like emotional landmines are going to happen. I hit one, it hurt, and I was fortunate enough to be with people who felt compelled to fix whatever happened to me. We never hashed it out, and that's okay. I'm all right. I love a bunch of people that have been in my life for a long time, and I'm lucky enough to be moved on from it. Thank you again to everyone who reached out, sent vibes, and was supportive when I was down.